Just when you start to feel like you've possibly seen it all, inextricably, someone is going to change that outlook. Before we review what caught me off guard recently while working with a new business manager, let's quickly cover a compliance issue. When your guest asks you, I have long advocated simply stating, folks, for compliance reasons, the only way I'm really allowed to answer that question is to say, that's the rate you qualify for. That's it. There is no other way to say it. To explain things another way may invite trouble, so please keep it simple. Your guest may press with a follow-up question like, or, at this point, you are aware, hopefully, of the fact that folks you like me, I'm sure would agree this is a great offer. After all, you already know with whom and how they've done business in the past and have submitted to the appropriate lending institution for consideration. It doesn't change the word track either if you have conceded your reserve and are offering them buy rate. It still isn't recommended that you ever respond that this is your best rate. Is the rate 0 or even negative? Stay out of the trick bag and stick to the script. Don't be kowtowed into an inaccurate explanation of things. It really isn't an issue unless we allow it to be. Again, that's the rate you qualify for. Moving on. In order to provide our guests with thoughtfully constructed product offerings best tailored to their needs, we need to gather a little information. Once again, it is hard to overstate the importance of an interview prior to loading/submitting our deal, let alone creating our menu. So here's what happened. The business manager with whom I was working had delivered a new vehicle late the night before. The next day, shortly after we began to collaborate, she explained that her sales manager asked if she might try and find a better fit for that guest with a different lender. The lender with whom the deal had been contracted had conditionally approved the deal. The rate was in the mid-teens and it was a line 5 call with room for gap only. I personally never liked redoing a delivered deal. That's automotive history. Let's move forward. It is not an uncommon sentiment in a situation such as this. However, in this case, rehashing the deal was a great learning opportunity. Additionally, the outcome proved far better for the guest. Good call, sales manager. What we did was take a look at the credit report, resubmit the deal to a local credit union, and wait for a reply. When the response came back, the rate was approximately half as much and no line 5 call. My new business manager was very pleased with the opportunity this presented, as she was convinced that the guest wanted to take advantage of the VSC, but wasn't able to because of the line 5 call, let alone the corresponding payment. The reserve being lost on the deal was insignificant. Most importantly, the rate was so much lower that the payment with the VSC and gap was going to be approximately the same as it had been previously the night before with just gap, and for 66 months versus the previous night's 72-month term. Perfect, we thought. The guest gladly came back in that day to hear the good news she had in store. To our amazement, she declined to take advantage of the above stated scenario, but instead was going to stay with just the gap, even after a price concession brought the monthly payment down another $10 per month. Thoughtfully, the business manager sensed the decision wasn't solid yet and left the menu in front of her guest while she tended to other paperwork. After a brief stay on the topic, the guest asked how much it would be with a 5-year, 50,000-mile VSC. The business manager plugged in the change and explained that it would be $1.59 per month less versus what the payment would have been with the 6-year, 75,000-mile VSC. The guest responded that she'd do that. Clearly, I am not built like a Chinese gymnast, But you could have knocked me out of my chair with a feather. Again, I'm the guy who's always harping about the fact that Price does not sell VSCs. Clearly, the price wasn't the issue. The point here is that what made sense to us regarding the term and mileage allowance on the VSC did not matter to the guest. Once again, this should serve to remind us of the importance of the interview and in tailoring the details of our guest's needs and expectations. This guest had the intention of trading in the car and upgrading sooner rather than later. Even with the explanation that she would be eligible for a prorated refund of any unused portion of the VSC, things weren't making sense for her. She fortunately asked us the right question. Even if the answer made no sense to us, it did to her. Give it a try. Good luck and good selling.